Joe Biden's presidency is at stake. It's about House of Representatives. It's about the state Congress. Who takes over can perhaps stake claim later to the government for 2024 presidential elections as well. Let's take a look at other points as well. This, remember, many are looking at former President Trump and his return as well, because Biden's approval ratings are less than 50%. Has he been the leader that many thought he will be after President Trump was defeated? The verdict will set stage for 2024 elections. That, of course, will it be between Biden and Trump, or will there be other two candidates? Now, the buzz is over that Trump could possibly be returning. Now, he has given feelers, but he has said that he's very, very likely, probably going to return, but it's not yet a confirmation about when that could begin. The results will determine about 118th US Congress, and that perhaps will have a global impact about who will lead the United States of America. So these are some of the few pointers that could be interesting. I want to now go again to New York and bring in Lenka White, our correspondent there. Lenka, I hope I was correct with those pointers, because it is not just about, like we were talking about, the midterm elections. It's perhaps that bigger message that is coming in about who will set the stage for 2024. So how has been Biden's journey in the United States of America? You know, many were angry with US President Trump. It was a Republican. They wanted a Democrat. But has he been able to set the stage like Americans would have wanted him to be?
You know, as you mentioned, many people just wanted to get rid of Trump, actually, and that's why they voted Biden. And I have heard that from many of my colleagues and friends. You know, there was just no one else we could vote for apart, you know, and many of them just don't want Trump, so they go for either Biden or Democrats. Even now, one of my colleagues told me he's just going to go to vote for Democrats because he doesn't want Trump to come back. So that's definitely a big clash here. And as you asked, President Biden, since the beginning, he had it a little bit easier in this way since 2020. Because, you know, the Democrats were in the House, the majority. The Democrats had majority also in Senate, 51 to 50. So he had it a little bit smoother with many of his aggressive policies since the beginning, which he did, for example, the aggressive bill on infrastructure. You know, after COVID pandemic, there were many sort of favors to people coming in. And also, for example, in terms of student loan, he did a lot. So I personally think he tried a lot, but a lot of it was printing money, which now actually is sort of a backlash towards him. And, you know, Republicans are happy about it because inflation is just skyrocketing. It's about 10%, 13% past 2 years. And it's because of all these bills he has been doing, printing money, you know, and now it's sort of coming back at him.
Interesting what Lenka White is telling us, because a little dip for Biden's presidency in popularity means the Republicans will want to jump in. And of course, there are issues that will matter. Lenka, stay on with me, because I want to tell our viewers here in the country about the biggest American challenges right now. And on top, perhaps for globally now, specifically due to Ukraine-Russia war, also has been inflation, the price rise. That has affected many people across the United States of America and remains a key concern. But it's the risk to democracy, the manner in which leader, and remember we're talking about one of the biggest superpowers, will be able to retain that. Cost of living, again, similar to inflation and price rise, has gone higher, specifically for the real estate prices that are becoming unaffordable now for a common American citizen. We're talking about crime and gun violence, abortion rights. Remember, many women are protesting across the United States of America that they will not be able to have abortion rights that they had earlier after Roe versus Wade was overturned. Immigration, this concerns as much Indians and other nationalities as well, people who want to migrate to the United States of America. Will it be tightened if Republicans come? How has it been with the Democrats? Education, primarily, if it is affordable, if it is accessible. Climate change, remember, and foreign policy are global issues that continue to be a concern for America. How ensuring will America be for climate change, not just in lecture and words, but also primarily in action? And foreign policy, of course, not as much just for America, but the manner in which it is interacting with other nations, specifically India and the subcontinent. I want to bring in Lenka White here from New York, because Lenka, we've been trying to understand these issues. Of course, for United States of America and its citizens, this is midterm elections. But for people across the world, they will want to see about the impact it has globally. Do you think in today's time, specifically whether it's inflation, whether it's Ukraine-Russia war, or all sorts of changes that are taking place in the global order, that what happens in midterm could be an indicator of the global impact, Lenka?
That's a great question. Definitely, I personally believe so, because as you mentioned a while ago, you know, Ukraine, Russia, now a war in Europe, right? So the Republicans have been promising that they don't want to see this big outflow of money coming from the United States to Ukraine, because like no one knows where it's going really, and the taxpayers are paying for that. So Republicans want to sort of, you know, first of all, audit what already has been promised to Ukraine, but also to cut down on that. And Democrats are opposite in this. So if Republicans would, you know, grab the majority during this election, we could also see a different trend and approach on the war in Ukraine and Russia. So that's going to have a big impact. And of course, also Republicans are more concerned internally. They don't put so much emphasis on things like climate change. So I definitely think it's going to have a bigger impact. And as we have been speaking a while ago, it will also give us some kind of forecast on who might be the next president of the United States and where it's going to go.